Hi, this is Shirai Show. Welcome back again. Today is October 8th of 2010, and it is approximately 4:39 p.m., and this is Central Time in America. I have a very difficult story to tell. This story is about my son and I, and it started when I lived on 94th 23 South Morgan Street. I lived there for 13 years, and after my last permanent position, I noticed that somehow we were being legally surveilled. People were telling me what was going on in the privacy of my own home. I got really nervous in the safety of my son. And in 2005 of May, I sent him to go live with his dad in Indianapolis, Indiana, hoping that he would remain safe until I figure out what was going on. All I know that someone told me I needed to go to the CAP meetings. It was really important at the Wilson Library, which I attend. And one of the officers told me that I was a victim of identity theft. Well, I just started doing research. I looked at my credit report. It wasn't tampered with or anything. So I went to try to file a police report in 2006, and they wouldn't allow me to file the police report. I'm finding out that someone had done something fraudulently. There was a lot of illegal activity in the north, 2 doors down from me, and I believe they had switched our addresses and made my house look like I had a drug house, which I did not. I'm the only one who was pretty much working on that block. And so I became the target, and people started to mimic and mock me and taunt me on how and what me and my son argue about. When I'm like, how would they know? I don't even know these individuals. Well, apparently this is how this started with illegal surveillance. And I sent my son away, and I lived in the house for a year, started to document and start writing, which I did. I started documenting and trying to get attorneys to assist me, but no one would tell me what was going on and why. Well, my son went there to Indianapolis, and somehow they tracked him. He was underage when they started legally surveilling him, which is illegal. And they I raised him around the church, and people couldn't stand that we were living our life right, I suppose. And the jealousy and the hatred fumed, and people started to target us. Well, apparently, somehow they followed my son to Indianapolis. Well, my son was working on a job. Somebody put a gun in his locker. And so he couldn't find work after that. All of a sudden, my son and his dad didn't get along. Then he was thrown out of the house, and then some people kidnapped him and raped him and turned him out and forced him into prostitution. And this is how I believe this identity theft started. So I built that website that everybody's fighting over because I was legally trying to help my son. And all these, I'm assuming that they made all these fraudulent reports on my son as well, just like they did under my identity. Well, my son is dead now. And reason why he's dead, because they kidnapped him and they drugged him. They injected my son. They said he was gone for a couple of weeks. I traveled there looking for him for hours. I called him, and he said, "Go home, Mom. I don't want to see you here." I'm sitting up here hysterical in Indianapolis, don't know where I am, looking for my son, asking people, showing pictures. They sat there and they turned my son out, and then they locked him up. They raped him and beat him. When I visit my son, he was already 6'3". He was always thin. He looked like he was anorexic. He tattoo on his little eye, a teardrop. They did all this damage to my son. All this damage. And they killed him and they raped him in there. The depraved active men, they sat there and watched my son being raped. They said they made tapes of them beating him and raping him.